Hey heroes, and welcome to Cap's channel. Today we're going to be diving into the comics that came out yesterday, as well as some of the series that have been going on. Just a heads up, I do stream over on Twitch 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, so be sure to come check me out if you want to talk comic books or anything Marvel, really anything nerdy, I'm all about. So come on over, let's have a little chit chat and enjoy some games. Without further ado, let's get into the comics that came out yesterday, starting with the series Heroes Reborn. And there are a few spoilers, so just a heads up, but nothing too major. Let's dive in and let's get it. So with Heroes Reborn, number 7 actually just came out just yesterday. So I've gotten all of them so far. I got number 1 in the variant edition because I was a little late to the punch. However, 2, 3, we got 4, we got 5, we got 6, and then of course, number 7 that came out yesterday. Getting ready to tie it all together and figure out what really happens with the Squadron and the Avengers. So if you haven't been checking out this series, give you a little basic backstory to it. The world doesn't remember the Avengers. Blade is the only Avenger that's left with his memory intact. He has to try to figure out a way to get the world and figure out what happened to reality. These new heroes, the Squadron, made up of Hyperion, Blur, Princess Power, Doc Spectrum, and Nighthawk, are now the new heroes of the world. So this series follows the Squadron and kind of Blade's little side journeys along the way to try to get the Avengers back together and fix reality. Now, without giving too much away, as the series goes on, you learn that no one knows the Avengers. No one remembers the Avengers. You get mentions of them like Bruce Banner and Peter Parker. However, they're not Spider-Man and Hulk. Bruce Banner is actually a scientist that got poisoned with gamma, became the Hulk, and actually murdered a whole bunch of people and is now in prison. Peter Parker never got bit by the spider. The spider actually got crushed one day while he was at Oscorp and was never able to get his powers. Therefore, he became just a simple photographer for the Daily Bugle because his Aunt May was killed due to Hyperion just blasting his way through one of the villains. So as the series goes on, you learn that Blade has to try to figure out how to get the Avengers back together, and his only hope is the very first Avenger there ever was, and that's Captain America. So in number 7, you will see what happens. You'll catch up. If you have not gotten into this series, please check it out. It's fantastic. I like the artwork. I like the new Squadron, the more edgy side of these kind of heroes, as well as figuring out what happens with Heroes Return, number 1, that'll be coming out next week, June 23rd. So be sure to get caught up and get ready for the finale. And speaking of things coming to the finale, coming to an end, a big comic came out this week. By big, I mean it's actually pretty thick, but Venom, number 35 in the series, issue number 200. Look at that. Look at that number. 200. Which means there have been 200 issues of Venom. This is just the 35th in this series with these writers, artists, and let me tell you, this series has been absolutely amazing. I've been following them for quite some time, as in issue number 1 right here. This series has given us a lot of side stories, a lot of big crossovers that we had throughout our time. The first one being the War of the Realms that came out right here. We get introduced to Eddie Brock's son in this series, which is really cool, showing a different side of Eddie, more of a side that really wants to do good. It came out with like 2 big series though during the entire Venom, and so the first one we have is Absolute Carnage, which if you haven't seen Absolute Carnage or haven't read Absolute Carnage, I apologize. You need to go read Absolute Carnage. It's fantastic. Really good. Venom versus Carnage, as Carnage is coming back to life and trying to take over the world. And then the latest series that we had was the King in Black series right here, which was also just as amazing. King Null has come back, king of the symbiotes, and is threatening to take over the world, and like with his giant army of symbiotes. So it's really interesting. It's well written. The artwork in it is just amazing to get all the little details, the different symbiotes, the different beasts that come from the symbiotes, the different hosts, to not just Venom, but all of the symbiotes, really. Uh, but all of it comes to a conclusion in number 35. This is final, uh, the final issue in this series. So it's really coming to an end, and like I said, it is for a comic that's pretty thick. But you go through uh, Eddie Brock kind of coming to a close, his side of the Venom story ending. So in this issue, you see Venom kind of reminiscing about everything that he's gone through in the past 35 issues of Venom and where it's taken him, what is really the next steps, because now he has freed all the symbiotes. He has the ability to control all the symbiotes as long as they wish him to, because after defeating Null, he's the new king of the symbiotes. Venom is the ruler, basically, Eddie Brock. So going through that, we see more of him and his son, as well as Eddie showing that the story may be over for him, but it's far from being over for Venom as a whole. There's still the Maker, there's still a possible invasion coming from the Council of Reeds, and the Avengers kind of say, hey, anytime you want, you can come fight alongside us. And Eddie's really kind of like tipping his hat. He's done, he's retiring, basically, and says, well, I'm over it, but we've got this guy, which is Flash Thompson. In another universe, he is Venom, a different side of Venom. Not the same suit, not the same look. Very cool. Definitely check it out and see what he looks like. But we get introduced to him and his world and how he gets brought into the story and into the Venomverse here. After that, we see more of Eddie's son and the issues that he's going through after losing powers that he had back in King in Black. He gave up his powers in issue number 5 to get Eddie to come back to life and bring him back to finish off Null once and for all. However, at the same time, his son ends up binding with a part of Venom that Eddie sent with him to keep him protected after he gets injured and becomes the new Venom, which his Venom is huge, like a big old dude. He got like chains around his wrists for webbing. Well, webbing, I guess, is how you need to put it, because you're definitely ain't gonna web nothing with chains. Just like a monster. But he looks amazing. I'm excited. I hope they do like Son of Venom. I think that'd be a pretty cool comic. I hope that's what they do and where they go with it. But I guess we'll stay tuned. Huge Venom fan. I love this series. It's been fantastic to go along this journey from start to end and to see how Eddie has not only developed his character, but also showcasing that Venom's not just a guy that goes out and like eats people's faces and kills. He's trying to do better. He's trying to be like that anti-hero and want to do better, not just for the world, but for his son, and show that he's not a terrible human being. Fantastic series. Definitely check it out. Look them up. If you can't grab the physical copies, I recommend Marvel Unlimited. It's a pretty cool app. It's what I use if I need to get caught up on certain comics and I don't want to grab the physical copies. I need digital copies because some of these physical copies are a little bit more expensive. Now that they've been out, they kind of gain popularity. Like when I went out today to grab Venom number 35, there was a limit of one. So not all of them are easily accessible. So definitely check out Marvel Unlimited if you want to get caught up with any of these comics and get yourselves immersed into the Marvel Universe. Now, as far as other comics that came out yesterday, we've got the Mighty Valkyries number 3 that came out, showcasing like Loki kind of being a little puppet here. That's really cool artwork. We've got the planet-sized X-Men, big, extra large, right there. X-Corp number 2. If you like X-Men, if you like Angel, check this out. Pretty cool. I like the little crossover they're doing right now with the Hellfire Gala. I'm not as familiar with it because I'm not reading all of the X-Men comics because there's like a lot of them. You've got like X-Men, you've got X-Corp now, Children of the Atom, Way of X, Hellions. like Hellions, Marauders. But yeah, lots of them. It's the time of annuals. Last 2 weeks ago, it was like the Iron Man. We've got Captain America this week. Huge Cap fan, if you can't tell. And then the Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the Clone Saga, which we'll be taking a closer look at later in a later video. But if you want to see these comics firsthand, down below are all my links to my socials. I post on TikTok first as soon as I get these comics, as well as go live on Twitch right after. And we talk about them, we see what's going on, and kind of what comics they need to be grabbing this week. So those are the 2 comics we're going to be taking a look at today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. What comics are you excited for? Where's the Venom story going to go? Are you reading these? Are you keeping up? Let me know. Once again, I do stream live on Twitch 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Come check me out. We'll chit chat about Marvel, comics, whatever you want that's nerdy. But that's all for this one. And until next time, heroes, as always, stay amazing. Bye bye.